How can I identify a good strategic pawn sacrifice? Have you ever found yourself in a chess game, wondering if sacrificing a pawn is the right move? Identifying a good strategic pawn sacrifice can be a game changer. Let's break down how to spot one, especially with lessons from great players like Viswanathan Anand. First, understand that a strategic pawn sacrifice is not about immediate gains. It's about creating long-term advantages. Unlike tactical sacrifices, which aim for quick benefits, strategic sacrifices focus on improving your position over time. Start by considering your goals. Why would you want to give up a pawn? Common reasons include opening lines for your pieces, improving their activity, or weakening your opponent's pawn structure. For instance, if sacrificing a pawn opens a file for your rook, it might be worth it. Next, think about the compensation you expect. In a good strategic pawn sacrifice, the payoff is positional rather than material. You should gain better piece coordination, more space, or a safer king. The benefits should clearly outweigh the loss of the pawn in the long run. To identify a good strategic pawn sacrifice, ask yourself some key questions. Will the sacrifice open lines or diagonals for my pieces? If your rooks or bishops become much more active, that's a good sign. Does it weaken my opponent's pawn structure? Creating weaknesses in your opponent's camp can lead to lasting advantages. Will it help me control important squares? Gaining control over key squares can restrict your opponent's options and improve your own piece placement. Is my opponent forced to accept the sacrifice? If they have no choice but to take the pawn, it can make the sacrifice more effective. Can I maintain the initiative after the sacrifice? Keeping pressure on your opponent can make it hard for them to consolidate their extra material. Viswanathan Anand often demonstrates these principles in his games. He is known for his ability to judge when a pawn sacrifice will lead to long-term pressure or a winning endgame. His games are great examples to study for understanding when to make these sacrifices. Avoid making a strategic pawn sacrifice if you cannot clearly see the compensation. If your opponent can easily defend against your plans, it might not be the right move. Always calculate as far as possible and consider the resulting position before committing to the sacrifice. By asking these questions and analyzing positions, you can develop a better sense of when and how to make strategic pawn sacrifices in your own games. Remember, it's all about the long-term benefits and how you can turn that pawn loss into a winning advantage.